Good afternoon or evening, wherever you may be. Broadcasting from my studio in Salt Lake City, Utah, this is Jerry Hardesty. I am the host and producer of the show, and I empower artists to tell their stories and talk about their art. In the past, you could only listen to the podcast, but now, of course, you can watch and listen as we are streaming through Facebook and YouTube. You can also make comments and ask questions as it's happening. You may even ask a question of the artist being interviewed if you so wish. But there will be comments here in a minute on the right side of your screen where you can enter your comments. Tell us where you're from, what your name is if you're here, and so forth. And if you miss the show, you may listen to it almost immediately as it will be saved as a recording. All that being said, I want to bring on my guest for today's show. Ernestina Gatti is from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and is an emerging performance artist as a dancer and actor. Not only that, but in college, she pursued and studied literature. Welcome, Ernestina, to the show.
Hi, Jerry. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. How'd you like that intro music?
Oh, I love that. I was dancing over here. I didn't know if you were watching me.
I was. And when I picked that music for this show, I could imagine you dancing and can imagine your feet just moving real fast. Yeah.
It was a great choice. Great.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, Ernestina, I stated in the intro, as a performance artist, you are a dancer and an actor. Add to that your background and continued interest in literature. So of these three, which has the highest priority?
Well, that's a good question. And actually, I've asked myself this question a lot.
I bet you do.
Thankfully, I don't have to answer to myself because the thing is, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, it's great. You like literature. You study literature, and also you love acting. It works together." But for me, it was hard to find a way to make it work, to find the fields where I could explore both of my passions. And I don't really know. The one thing I do know is that I cannot pick just one. When I finished high school, I started studying literature, and I wasn't acting that much. And for me, there was like this lack of body, you know. And that was a very important moment for me, realizing that I needed to put my body out there to make it move around the place, because otherwise I don't find myself. I think I'm somewhere in between. I cannot pick. I'm like this.
Well, given that, what kind of literature do you like?
Fictions. I like novels. That's what I like the most.
What kind of books? I'm sorry.
Novels.
Novels. Okay. I'm with you. I love reading novels.
Yeah, me too. It's diving into a new world. Well, everything is, of course. Poetry is a very vast universe, but
I know
not your cup of tea.
It's the abstract version of literature, but I have a hard time getting into poetry. But it's not about me.
No, but I understand. I feel you.
Are you a book collector as well?
Well, yeah, I just moved into a new place last week, and there are books all over here in boxes, and it's hard. Like I will feel really at my home when my books are on the shelves and everything is.
And I love that picture of you before this vast bookcase full of books.
Yeah, that's where I work.
Oh, that's where you work. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah. That's my home where the books are.
Well, given the fact that none of your crafts or your interests, they all have equal priority. So what does your day look like as a dancer, actor, producer of literature, reader?
Reader is a very important one.
Yes.
Thank you for mentioning it. Well, mostly it can be a little chaotic, and especially this year.
Yeah.
You know, we've been trying to find ourselves all over again this year. So this question that I didn't answer before is now even more important. I think a year in my life today. Well, actually, right now I'm working a lot with this writer. Her name is Sylvia Hoppenheim. She's a wonderful writer and person, and we've been working together for many years now, and I coordinate her workshops. And right now we are working on a new series of streamings. We've taken the stream of consciousness procedure in literature, and we picked some monologues, and I've been adapting them. For instance, there's this novel by Virginia Woolf. It's called The Waves, and I've adapted this. It's not that long, but it was like, I don't know, 300 pages, and it turned out into a 5 pages monologue. So I had to leave a lot out. And right now we're working on this new series, and we invite actors to read these monologues. So today I've worked almost all day on this new project that we have. That's very exciting for me because we have a wonderful actor coming on. Her name is Marilu Marini. She's really amazing, so I'm really glad that we will have her on this new, I don't know, project invention.
Well, it's Friday evening in Buenos Aires, correct?
Yeah. Marilu Marini, she's an Argentinian actor, but she's living in Paris now.
Ah, very nice. Well, my question was leading up. I didn't plan to ask this, but how do you fit a social life into all of this busyness?
I don't know. Please, I need someone to answer that for me.
Are you saying you don't have a social life? It's work. It's all work and work and work, right?
No, I try my best. But the thing is that I have the greatest luck and joy to work with a lot of friends. So for me, it is work, but there is this. I have a wonderful relationship with my boss. She's a very close friend, and I love inviting friends to work with me. So social life and working, everything is a mixture. All of my answers are sort of a mixture.
Now, didn't Carlos refer you to me, Kaku?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he's writing a novel, right?
Oh, he is right now? I didn't know that.
Yes, only it's in Spanish, and he promised me he would get it translated to English so I could read it since I don't speak Spanish.
Okay, yeah, we will need to translate that, or we can teach you Spanish.
There you go. There you go. Perhaps both.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be quite good.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah,
I enjoyed interviewing him.
Yeah, you did interview him sometimes, not only one time, right? He interviewed you.
He what? He moved?
He interviewed you.
Yes, he and
Valentin.
Huh?
Valentin Gatica.
Yes, Valentin Caruso.
I heard that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
They were having fun, and I enjoyed it as well. I'm not usually on that side of the microphone, but it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Ernestina, what is your first recollection of being interested in art or being an artist?
Well, I've got two different answers because I know I've always been interested in art. My parents, they are both artists. So my dad, he's a printer, like a press printer. And in my house, there were a lot of very old books and very special ones. So I believe that my first connection with art was seeing him, how he connected with books. Like, okay, you need to touch it this way, pick this way, And I felt like there is something here, It's like some sort of treasure hidden behind all of these pages, and who did it, and how was it created, and that was it's something very subtle, Sure. And I think that was my first encounter with art, like something that was hidden that I wanted to get to know. But I feel like there are two questions in your question, because you said, or like, when did you feel an artist for the first time? Mm-hmm. And that's funny. I think we Argentinians have a lot of funny things, and there is this weird thing we have with the word artists. Actors here don't usually call themselves, "Oh, I'm an artist." Mm-hmm. And for me, it wasn't until 2 years ago that I went to New York to study, and I made a lot of great friends, and they were all Americans, and they would talk all the time about their craft and about their art. Like, I'm an artist. This is what I do. This is the art that I bring to the world. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. I had never thought about it this way. And I think that
it was at that time that you started calling yourself an artist?
Yeah. Before that, I would call myself an actress. But the whole idea of me being an artist came there. And it's funny because it came in a different language, you know? I didn't call myself an artista. First, I had to call myself an artist. That's funny.
That is odd, isn't it?
Thank you.
You made the transition, and apparently you made it very, very, very well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, when I first became an artist, I found it difficult to say I'm an artist. It took me a while to actually say I'm an artist. Although I've been an artist my entire life, so you know.
Well, yeah, of course, it's like owning the word. But you're right. We have always been that.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I wasn't always a visual artist because I have a BA in vocal production. So I was a singer for years and years and years. So now that you're an artist and you claim the title of being an artist, am I hearing a horn?
I'm sorry. I think it's a little crowded.
That's kind of interesting.
What's going on?
All right. Anyway, since you now have declared that you're an artist, when did you first decide to pursue a career as an artist?
No, I think that was when I was younger. It was one of my first acting teachers that I got to know when I had the first interview to start taking classes with her. I was like, okay, my name is Ernestina, and I want to come here and learn. And very tiny.
That childlike voice, did you?
I believe it was something like that. And she said, okay, you want to come here, but also you want to be an actor. That's what you want to be. And I was with my mother back then. I was, I don't know, maybe less than 10 years old. And I was like, yeah, I do want to be in it. Yeah, that's what I want to be.
That's cool. That's good.
That's great, right?
Yeah,
she said it, and I was like, yeah, I think I want to do that. And it was from then on.
Okay, now you're all grown up, and you're a big actress. I'll do it incorrectly. Bueno artista.
Thank you. Well, this is the first lesson on Spanish.
Bueno. Buena. You're okay. Never mind.
Muy bien. Buena artista. Well, I don't know. You tell me, but thank you.
So, do your interests detract from one another? Your three interests, your three pursuits?
No, they keep me grounded. You know, I don't think I could do just one. And also, when I found myself only studying literature, I decided I needed to, like, I don't know, I'm just going to say it. I don't think that these are the right words, but to be more serious about my craft and about my acting and about the tools that I wanted to achieve. And but then if I'm only doing acting stuff, I miss thinking about words, you know? And they don't...
No, stop there just a minute. What do you call work?
Words, not work. Words, like blah, blah, blah.
No, which area is work, actually work? Or is all of it work?
Regarding acting, you mean?
Or dancing?
Or dancing. Oh. Well,
see, you said that when you're doing one thing, when you're working on your literature, you're thinking about work. Well, is work in that case acting or dancing? Or when you're dancing, are you thinking about literature as being work? Am I making sense?
Yes, I think you are. In my head. Well, I don't have a good answer for that because the like work is a moment for me. It's the I'm gonna say transaction. The moment you're there with another person and you need to get this thing done. That's work.
Okay.
But there's also training for me. Training is the richest part.
Oh, we'll get
Like
to training in a minute. I've
okay.
got questions about training. Well, Ernestina, two of your three crafts involve self-expression. And I
Oh,
quote from information that you sent me, quote, having better awareness of my body as an actor made my experience of dancing more focused on an inner research other than just getting the choreography right, unquote. So, may I conclude that acting and dancing inform each other, the crafts inform each other, and perhaps are on the same, I'm going back to the priority level.
yeah, sure. I mean, well, it involves my body and having this. What I aim is to have a very deep knowledge and perception of my own body
Mhm,
because it's my tool. When I'm working with words, there's something happening to the body, but it's not the main tool. The
mhm.
main tool is somewhere in here, or I don't
Sure.
know.
In your heart, it's in your
Yeah,
passion.
you're right. Um, but they complement each other, dancing and acting.
Of course.
Um, they are very different languages, though. For me, it wasn't until acting became clearer, or maybe the tools I own now became stronger. That's when I could approach dancing, um, yeah, on a way that moved me more.
Mhm,
That
mhm,
um, it became like a richer dish for me to dive into.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So, back to literature. I'm going to be jumping around here, but back to
Okay.
literature. Are you also a writer? Apparently, you are because you condensed this 300 pages of Virginia Woolf down to 5.
Yeah. Poor Virginia.
It would probably be flattered.
I don't know. I did my best. Um, I do write, and I like it very much. Um, Sometimes it happens to me that I get scared about opening too many doors.
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
know if that's something that happens a lot to us as artists. Um, you want to like research, investigate different ways, but sometimes I feel like, okay, but now I need to master this way.
Mhm.
And so writing is something that's really important for me that I enjoy very much. Uh, but uh, I think I'm a little scared of writing. Something I want to do, but it's hard for me to try that.
Okay, now um, the artist Chuck Close. Are you familiar with his work? He's a very famous American artist. Anyway,
Mhm.
he states amateurs don't wait for inspiration. The rest of us just show up and get to work. So I'm
I
encouraging you, Ernestina, if you want to write, if you want to write, just do it.
Yeah,
That's your challenge. That's your challenge.
yeah, yeah. You're right, and it's something to be really. It's wonderful to have things clear, right?
Mhm,
And you just said it, and I felt it. Like there's this one thing that I would like to try. It's very clear for me. It frightens me, but it's clear. But I did try, okay.
try
And
again.
this year I wrote, yeah, try harder, try better, try again.
Mhm.
Yeah, this year I wrote my first play. Um,
Ah,
And yeah, it was a good experiment.
in Spanish or English?
What? I'm sorry.
In Spanish or English?
Spanish. English is it's really hard for me to master.
Well, what you sent me is information that I could use in this interview. It was written very well.
Thank you.
No, my pleasure. No, I enjoyed reading it and
Oh,
getting to
thank
know you a little
you.
bit better through your writing. Well, this condensation of the Virginia Woolf 300 pages, did you do that in Spanish or English?
No, it was all Spanish.
It was Spanish?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Virginia's waves and seas in general in English are something like you can drown there. I can drown there.
Yeah. Right. Okay, back to your play that you wrote.
Hmm.
All right, get it translated to English, whether you do it or somebody else does it so that I can read it. Okay?
Okay. Will do.
What's the name of the play in English?
Oh my god, it's a very long title. Okay, it's called Gaudí, the Spanish creator of the Sacred Family Church.
Okay.
I'm translating it all wrong. It's clearly not the way it's called in English, but so Antoni Gaudí. The name of the title is The Last 3 Days of Gaudí. That's the name of the play.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd love to read it if you ever get it. If you ever get it translated, or I learn Spanish, whichever comes first.
Okay.
Well, as a dancer and probably likely as an actor as well, you have to have a very strong body. So in order to get a strong body, I know that you go through. Yeah, woo-hoo! Are you a weightlifter? I know you go through a lot of probably painful exercising and working out. So tell us about that.
Well, that's also something that you learn, right? I had a teacher that she was always saying, growing is pain. She wasn't talking about muscle. She was talking about like the other kind of growing. But for me, that was always something a little tricky. I understand that there are times in life when you to grow, you need to face some facts that may be, I don't know, hurtful. But there is something for me really attractive about like surfing through your experience. Like not to be not facing stuff, but to choose to not go through life choosing pain. So that's like something I have when it comes to training. There are, also another teacher would always say, being an actor, the life of an actor is wonderful. Their head, that's the shitty place, and like it's gonna be hard no matter what. So I usually try to not. If I focus on the pain, then it's gonna be like the hardest mountain to climb.
Good point.
But well, yeah. When it comes to training, when you need to last year I started ballet classes, and you need to tell your body to speak Chinese when you don't even know how it sounds. And that's hard, and that's training.
Do you train daily?
Well, now in quarantine, I need to confess.
You're confessing to the world.
I'm so sorry. In quarantine, it's hard.
Why is it more hard? Why is it more difficult in quarantine than it is with people?
I believe because usually when I train, normally before this life we are living now. When I used to train, um, there was always like a horizon. You know, you were doing this, and maybe you could turn this into this other thing. Now I feel a little bit like I'm missing horizons. You know, so I'm doing things, but the question why, that's a very interesting question actually, when we ask ourselves now, why are we doing this now? You know, at first in quarantine, everyone was like, you need to read all of the books that you didn't read, and you need to write that masterpiece, you know? You know, was it like that for you too?
That's a good question. That's unfair. I'm interviewing you. Remember, I'm asking the question.
I'm sorry, I want to know.
No, training is difficult, but as a singer, most of my training was alone. And I would guess that a lot of your training training outside of quarantine is with other people.
Yeah, no, it is, of course. And it's like 50-50, you know, you train your own body, but also watching other people is like wonderful. And for me, it's an experience that I miss the most. And yeah, that's something that makes it hard for me, like watching a screen and going like, or even acting, you know, crying in front of a screen. It gets lonely.
Yeah. All right. Now, which is more difficult, learning choreography or learning lines?
Lines are not the tricky thing. I think the trickiest thing is to like throw emotion into those lines. Choreography is just you need to make your body comfortable with the movements that, you know, someone else is creating this new like field of action for your body. And you need to like get acquainted with the new house.
Well,
I would say, yeah.
Is blocking in acting synonymous with choreography, learning steps in your choreography or movement in your choreography?
Yeah, I think you can say that. And it's the how that makes it interesting, you know, because you need how you feel this blocking or this choreography.
Yeah,
what you bring into that.
If you didn't put your emotion into either one, then it would just be flat and boring.
Completely boring and dull.
not only for the audience, but for you as well.
Yeah. First of all, for one. Yeah.
So, what? God, you know, I don't know a lot about dance. I like social dancing, but I don't know a lot about, you know, formal dancing. So, what kind of dancing do you do?
Well, mostly contemporary.
So, contemporary? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I like the most, and it's improv. So there's not a lot of choreography right now in my life. So yeah, that's the most interesting for me.
So if it's improv, then you're saying it's spontaneous, and you just do what you feel at the time.
In a way, yeah. I try to think of different approaches to movement when I have to dance, and it's interesting to think that you are not dancing, but you are being danced by the situation, by the music, by your partner. So yeah, it's what you feel, but also what the context is making you feel. Yeah.
Well, now that you mentioned partner, how important is having how important is your partner? Is it and I'm not getting at the question I want to ask. It's there, but it's not coming to me. Strength wise, obviously your partner has to be strong, especially if there are lifts involved and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever been dropped?
No, maybe sometime at some acting class. You know that exercise, you need to trust partner, and you fall.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
he's not there.
Now, that's not the kind of falling I was talking about. Yeah, that's a matter of trust. But I'm talking about, okay, he does a lift in the air, and
Yeah.
you're up here, and all of a sudden he loses his strength, and you fall down. Does that ever happen?
No. Well, and no, it didn't. And if it did, I think that it's very important to train this sort of conscious on your own body and on your partner's body, so that if it happens, you don't hurt each other. You know.
Sure.
That's like I think that if you're really present in what you're doing and you're reading your partner and you're being very sensitive to what's going on with your body and where you're standing, where your strength is, and so on, you can dance and not be scared of falling. And if it happens, as I do improv mostly, falling is part of the dance.
So if it's improv dancing, your partner also is improvising as well.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to be in sync with one another.
Yeah, it's a conversation. It's
that's a good analogy. It's a conversation between two people.
Yeah.
Without words. Without words.
Without words. Yeah, it's a different sort of encounter.
Do you ever whisper in one another's ear?
Sometimes we shout.
Oh, okay. How about ballroom dancing? Do you do ballroom dancing?
No, I would love to.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It looks really difficult. Yeah. The closest thing we have here to ballroom dancing is tango. And
Argentine tango. Ooh, I would love to learn to do that. Can you do it?
Yeah. Huh? No, not good at all. I know, there are actual steps you need to know.
Yes.
It's like a very serious thing.
And you need to know what you're in that situation. You definitely know what your partner's going to do.
Yeah, but there's actually this sort of communication. There's the leading role and the one that's being led, and the leading one. I don't know how, but actually tells you what to do with their hands on your back.
Yes. That's very interesting. Okay, there's another challenge for you to learn Argentine tango, and then I'm going to come to Buenos Aires and want to.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. So you just mentioned that you started ballet training not too long ago. Mm-hmm. So you work the bar a lot?
Yeah.
How much time do you spend in, say, on your typical day where you're going to train? How much time do you train? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours?
It's usually somewhere between 2 hours and 3 hours. Yeah. And also, right after class and before class, it's good to do some stretching and to, you need to wake up your body in order for it to move.
Stretching.
Stretching and maybe some sort of physical movement. When we wake up, we need coffee, we need something to get our brain started. And the body needs something similar.
Right.
We need to take care of our bodies. So stretching is good.
So a lot of your dancing is interpretive dancing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now tell us about, let's see, how do I word this so you know what I'm talking about? Tell us about this experimental dancing play that you were in and the tools that you learned from that, because you said that there were some tools that you learned from this experimental dancing. Can you talk to that?
No, that was otherworldly. That was amazing for me. One of my best friends was the director. There were two directors, Azul Carrasco and Mariel Mendez. And it was, as I said, and we talked about this before, rehearsing is the richest moment, There were many rehearsals for this play since it was something experimental. I was working with someone else, with another actor, Axel Emilien, and what we had to do, the name of the play was Hacer evidente la crisis, like make the crisis clear, show.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to show this was through our bodies. And so when I auditioned for this play, they put some headphones on me and they said, okay, you're going to listen to one song and you need to dance the opposite.
Oh, that would be difficult.
And that was like something amazing because we are very used to, there's like this sort of dictatorship with music. This is the music that's sounding, this is the way I move.
Yes.
But now it was the opposite. And what is the opposite? You know, I'm listening to some classical music. Do I tango? Do I twerk? What's the opposite? And so that was an interesting question because the most interesting questions are the ones that don't really have one answer. And so in every rehearsal, we came up with something different. And we had like different, very specific tools to investigate movement. Mm-hmm. Both of them, the directors, they would say, okay, now you listen to, we were always working with headsets and headphones. Mm-hmm. And what I was listening was different to what Axel, the other actor, was listening.
Oh.
But we were dancing together.
Interesting.
And so, for instance, they would say, okay, you're hearing this music and I want you to dance like to the 10% of the movement that you would dance like normally, you know? So if I would go, then 10% maybe is slower, or maybe 10% is a very minimal movement, you know?
I see. Yes. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, that was great. For me, it's up until this day, whenever I have to dance, I go back to these tools, or maybe, I don't know, like create movement from a certain part of your body. So everything starts from this nail. And all of the dance movement starts from, and you're only thinking about this and how this reflects on the rest of your body. Now, it's like our body is great and the possibilities are endless.
Huh. I like that. So what did you actually, how can you pinpoint, say in 10 words or less, what did you actually learn from this experience? Or how do you apply that to your craft at this point?
Well, it came very clear to me that even though that possibilities are endless, mm-hmm. That's the moment I faced my body in the clearest way. Like I knew perfectly clear, crystal clear, what my comfort zones were, what was really tricky for me, what was hard, what I was like a great obstacle for me as a dancer. You know, we talked about facing stuff and stuff that's hurtful, and mm-hmm. and when you grow as an artist, I had to face that my body had these possibilities, and this was something that was very simple for me, and this is the stuff I need to work with.
Is there anything that is impossible?
Well, you know, I think what's impossible is, you know, what we think. What we think is impossible. What we think is impossible.
It is. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because for me it was like, I cannot do this. I cannot, you know, the other actor was very good at like being very explicit with his dancing. Like he wanted to really show, like, I don't know, compassion or certain emotions. And all of the time I would work with something much more abstract. And for me, doing that, what he was doing, was impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go, and I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I have something like resistance or something. But of course, then the next day you say, hey, maybe I can do it, maybe. And then you go and you do it. And that's.
So this experience has helped you overcome your impossibilities.
Yeah, to face them and to acknowledge they exist.
Okay.
You know?
This is all very interesting. I love this. I love this. Well, we've been on here a good 45 minutes. And
wow.
I don't want to take up all of your evening, because I want you to have some of your evening left for some social life.
Some social life. I promise I will talk to a friend.
That I do have is, do you do well in auditions?
I love auditions.
You do? Well,
I love auditioning. And I know that's something that's strange, because usually actors go like, oh no, the audition process is awful. I love it. I love auditioning for ads and stuff like that. I love going to places and running into my friends, which usually happens when we audition. Mm-hmm. And it's training. I don't know. It's fun. I do what I love. And so auditioning is.
I applaud you for loving auditions. I always hated auditions, and I wasn't very good at it.
We should go together, and I'll make you have fun in the process.
You bet. Well, Ernestina, is there any advice that you would like to give to aspiring artists, dancers, actors?
For me, it's important to take the work seriously, but not take yourself that seriously. You know?
That's a good point. Yes.
Yeah, because it's very painful if not. Like, you're gonna get rejected 90% of the times that you audition.
Yes, you are.
So if you like think of yourself by the many times that you've been rejected, of course we're all a pile of garbage, but we're not.
Well, when you get rejected, you just have to go, oh, okay, and move on to the next. So
yeah.
I had an art teacher who said, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So, you just
100%. I agree.
You just have to do that. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close here?
No, that I was really nervous.
Were you really?
No, I was very nervous.
You don't appear to be nervous. You haven't appeared to be nervous.
Okay, because I have my little glass of wine here to help me out, but I didn't need it that much. I think you made me feel very comfortable. Thank you very much.
Good, thank you. I'm glad I did. You seem very comfortable in your own skin. So,
thank you.
And you're very young.
I think I appear a little bit younger than I am.
No, expect me, you're young. So anyway,
we're two young studs.
I'm sorry?
We are two young studs, Jerry.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. My youngest son keeps me young. So I want to thank you so much for being my guest on the show. For me, this was a challenge, and quite frankly, candidly, I was apprehensive about it because, I don't know a lot about dancing, and I thought that the entire interview would be centered around dancing, but as it turns out, it's a combination of things. So you made me feel at ease as well, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time. As soon as we end this, it will be saved on Facebook, so you can share it however you want to share it, and it will be on YouTube. Although somebody informed me the other day you have to pay to listen to it, so I don't know about that, but I didn't.
We are free for the people.
Yeah, exactly. I would think so. And then I will be putting it on the podcast for the show. So you are episode number 86.
Wow.
The 86.
That's a lot of interviews, Jerry.
It is a lot of interviews, but I've enjoyed
it. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I've enjoyed every minute of it. So I want to thank you so much for your time, and I wish you the best with your multiple careers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I
All
think
right.
you're doing amazing.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.